episode 327. And as I'm preparing this episode, I am in Southern California. This time for a work conference for a couple of days, but then I added some vacation. I'm going climbing with a friend. This is my first multi-day climbing trip, and I'm quite nervous. As you have learned from my episodes on climbing, it is a very physical activity, and I'm usually beat after one day. So I'm quite interested to see how my body will handle it. But I'm also curious how the interpersonal aspect will go. A week with one person, almost exclusively, in the middle of the woods, with hardly any other people around. I am expecting tension and disagreements. More on that in tomorrow's episode, which I wrote after the trip. On our way down to Southern California, we stopped in Sequoia National Park, famous for its giant sequoia trees, including the General Sherman tree, which is the largest tree on Earth. I saw my first bears out in nature and a coyote that ran on the street right in front of our car. This was my first time there and I loved it. It was fairly quiet in that park and void of the crowds that one sees in more famous national parks like Tahoe and Yosemite. We climbed a fairly easy route called Little Baldy. After the climb, we walked back to the car along a forest road. This was a very untypical descent. Usually, we have to scramble down steep rock formations or cut through brush and trees to get back. This time, we were on an actual hiking trail, leading through beautiful woods, and it was really enjoyable. After our climb, we stopped at Morro Rock, a granite dome that has a staircase leading up to it for sweeping views. There we saw many tourists and I couldn't help but think. We summited 2 mountains today. One we climbed. The second one, Morro Rock, we walked up on stairs along with all the other visitors. It felt quite odd to walk up a mountain. It was quite a steep staircase and several people had to stop along the way to catch their breath. In passing, I overheard a conversation between a couple that had stopped halfway. The woman said determined to her partner, "I came here to get to the top, so we are going up." In the past, that's all I would do, along with other tourists. If it was mentioned in a travel guide, I did it. And I got to the top. And now, as a climber, or an aspiring climber, I go about it with the same determination. But climbing that staircase that Sunday afternoon somehow left me empty. I kept looking over the man-made railing and already planned in the back of my mind to come back and actually climb Morro Rock, which can be done. Everyone was in awe with the view, but I couldn't share the excitement. It didn't feel earned. I just climbed stairs, not comparable to climbing with hands and feet, making my own staircase as I go. I wondered if musicians feel the same way when they listen to the music of others, or carpenters that make their own furniture when they are forced to buy factory-made furniture. When you become the creator of your own life, consuming other people's creations is not enough anymore. You know there is a better way, your own way, and that feels more fulfilling. Walking up Morro Rock, I felt like a spectator without a stake in the game. I felt like I pretended because I didn't contribute much to make my summit happen. It was all made for me. I didn't work for it. I didn't earn it. It just did not feel the same. So many experiences are created for us. Books and online media tell us where to go and what to do. Our transportation tools get us there. All we have to do is admire, take some pics as evidence that we were there, and then we can check it off. I came here to get to the top, so we are going up. All this made me think of bucket lists. Do you have one? Do you have activities you want to complete before you die? I did some research and stumbled across entire blogs dedicated to bucket list accomplishments. People traveling the world and either checking things off or creating to-dos for us with their adventures. Bucket lists originate when something catches our attention and we say, I want to do this too. I don't think there's anything wrong with dreams inspired by others. And the beauty of the internet is that we have more visibility of the possible adventures that lie out there and the advice on how to access them. But many bucket list items that we have are really just other people's agendas. They did it, so we want to do it. Very much like the car our neighbor drives or the brand of purse our best friend carries. We take on the accomplishments of others and make them our to-dos, often without really thinking much about them. They sound cool, challenging, and novel, but are they really what we want to do? A quest to check off the things on your bucket list can quickly become a chase for some other person's dream. When I read other people's bucket lists or books titled 1000 Things to Do Before You Die, I like them all. They all sound exciting, adventurous, and interesting, and I want to do them all. But the question I like to ask myself is, how do these fit into my life? I know I will not have the time to do them all unless I quit my job and dedicate my life to pursuing my bucket list. So how can I choose adventures for me that I really want to do and not feel like I'm supposed to do? As with any list, a bucket list becomes just another to-do. It's reactive. It can create stress. It can become a chase rather than a joyful experience. I don't know about you, but I already have plenty of lists in my life. I don't need another one, especially if it's endless and I don't even know how to prioritize it. When I reflected on the last few years of my life, I noticed something remarkable. I don't need a bucket list. Sure, I have a few things I want to see and do. Machu Picchu is a place I really would love to go see. Patagonia as well, and many others. But my bucket list is not what drives my actions. I don't plan my life around these desires. Rather, I'm trying to live my life by going after my purpose and my vision. My quest for me. That which fulfills me and makes me happy. I'm chasing something greater than a final destination. Because, as we know, any accomplished goal quickly trades places with a new goal. I am chasing the best version of myself. And in this process, I have found that my bucket list not only creates itself, but also fulfills itself. Recall my climbing example from earlier. Standing on top of Morro Rock could have been a bucket list item. But instead, I climbed a different mountain nearby, had a similar view of Sequoia National Park, and felt so much more accomplished. My mountain wasn't a tourist destination. There wasn't anyone there. But it was my destination for that day. It was on the list. I climbed it and I summited it. And in the process, I challenged myself, learned more about myself, and walked away knowing I have a lot more to learn. My mountain that day was my bucket list. It was part of my quest for me. Morro Rock, with its staircase, was nice, but it was not significant to my development as a person. Although it was beneficial after all, because it did help me think about the topic of bucket lists and became the base for this episode. But do you see the difference? You don't need a bucket list when every day of your life is dedicated to discovering your best self, your purpose, and your mission on this earth. And the best part is this. Things that you may have actually on your bucket list somehow actualize anyway, almost unnoticeably. They somehow fall into place while you're engaged, alive, and present on your quest. I always wanted to see the huge sequoia trees that I had seen in pictures. Well, I saw them anyway that day, plus so much more. Every time I go out climbing, I discover the most beautiful corners of this planet. Some I didn't even know existed. Others I thought I would never see. Because I'm on my quest, not on someone else's, not busy checking off a list or copying my friends. Have aspirations, have dreams, wants, and wishes, but make sure they are born out of your own creations, as you are following your path and finding the expression of yourself, because then When you accomplish those goals, you will feel more full and richer than you did before. Wiser, smarter, and even more clear on the next steps ahead. And you will be fueled to continue your quest, affirmed that you are on the right path, versus just checking off another to-do and feeling really nothing. Hoping that the next thing, the marathon, Mount Everest, or the MBA will somehow finally do the magic. But we all know they won't. They just lead to even bigger to-dos that may have nothing to do with who we are and what we want to do with our life. Herman Melville said, "It is not down on any map. True places never are." Find your true place, my friends. Discover yourself, and in the process, discover this beautiful world. Create your own experiences and make this world your world. Much love.